today we are talking about Nope. Napping over physical education. That's what it means.
It does describe my childhood, yes.
Which is relatable content. Welcome back, gay schools and everyone in between, to our YouTube channel, The Horror Bandwagon. Hi, my name is Sergio.
And my name is Cody.
And we are your boys for horror analysis,
Criticism,
and spooky, okay?
and sometimes kooky.
Entertainment. Also, listen, we get it. We happen to be wearing the same colored shirt. Almost, no, I think I'm a little darker shade.
Yeah, you're a little bit of a darker shade, and mine is I feel more purple.
And guess what, guys? We just got out of seeing Jordan Peele's new film, Nope. But this movie was highly anticipated by pretty much everybody. They've been waiting for this movie for so long. At the beginning, little was known about what it was about. Remember when we just got like a poster of a cloud and like a town? So now a little bit more information has been given to us, but it's still like caused people to theorize what it could mean.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot that really we could even get from the trailer, because we had that poster where you had the little flags dangling down, and we did theorize that it may have had something to do with aliens or UFOs or something, because of how the teaser introduced Nope kind of dropping out of the clouds. And it evoked that a lot, but we had really no idea what we were going into. Although separately from the channel, we did watch a couple cast interviews where they read through online theories, and it was just everything was, they were like, no, you guys are wrong. This is a very different movie than you're gonna see.
No, yeah. If you're looking for a good time and like just like a few laughs, because the cast honestly is super charming.
Yeah.
They seem like they got along really well. I would go to, I think it's Variety. I will link it down below in our description, or I'll just post like a little picture of what it looks like. Go look it up. It's actually really entertaining.
But before we start our review, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell so you get notified every time we post a new episode. And if you want to support the channel even more, you can go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/thehorrorbandwagon.
But in case you just didn't know what this movie was about, we're going to give you a brief synopsis.
Caretakers at a California horse ranch encounter a mysterious force that affects human and animal behavior.
So as you can see, we really had to give you a vague synopsis about this movie. When it comes to our review, we're going to really have to work around spoiling anything. Again, this is spoiler free. We're not going to reveal anything that happens or even confirm any certain things in this review.
Yeah, one of the downsides about not getting a ton of stuff confirmed in the trailers is that we can't talk too much about the movie, because there's a lot that happens in the movie that the trailers never even reference. And so it's one of the things that overall we're kind of ambivalent about coming out of the movie, because it was very different from what we were expecting, and not in a bad way. But I know, me at least personally, I'm always looking for like the deeper hidden meanings behind things, and I think I was getting caught up in that when watching this movie.
Well, because the trailers made you really theorize everything. Like every single thing that they showed us was like, oh my God, this could be this, this could be this, this could be this. And I think there are going to be some things that you were like, oh, that's exactly what I thought it was. Yeah. But then there's other things where it's like, whoa, that's definitely something different than I was expecting. And I think going into this movie, if you've seen the trailers, I think just go in with an open mind. Don't set expectations for yourselves. It's great that we're theorizing some things, but honestly, I think you'll get a bigger kick out of it if you don't over theorize with this movie, because it is, for me, it turned out to be something different. And that doesn't mean a bad thing, because overall, I like this movie.
So did I.
I had a great time. There was a lot of good things that I saw. There was a lot of fun to be had. It really was like a sci-fi adventure movie. I wouldn't say compared to like Get Us and Us. Get Us. Did I say Get Us?
You did.
Lord. Okay. But unlike Get Out and Us, who were like horror-centric movies, this one's definitely more on the sci-fi adventure trail.
Well, there were still horror aspects to
Oh
it.
yeah.
Because there were several times where we were holding each other's hands super tight in the movie theater because we were like, holy shit, what is happening?
Well, because there are a lot of good, built up suspenseful things. And what I've been learning is that Jordan Peele is really good at that.
Yeah.
Setting the atmosphere, making you feel uneasy, making you feel like you're not knowing what's around the next corner. Jordan Peele is really good at that stuff. And you're free to disagree with me. This is just our opinions and just what I saw. But I think that he's really good at that. And I think he's mastering it in this film. Lots of great suspenseful moments, lots of actually disturbing imagery. There's really not going to be, besides those specific moments in the movie, overall, I didn't find it scary. I don't think, and I feel like that's going to be the biggest thing. People are going to go in thinking that this is going to be ultimately another horror movie that Jordan Peele's under, but he's taking a risk. I think he needs to make this kind of movie so he doesn't fall into a confinement where he's just only has to do horror, but he can branch out and do other things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because this didn't at the end of the day feel like a horror movie to me.
Yeah.
And I think that going into it expecting that, I don't want to say let down, but it took me a little bit to process that. I was waiting for stuff to get scary. I was waiting for there to be some big underlying story like there was in Us and Get Out. And you didn't really so much get that, but this was still a really enjoyable movie. So let's talk about the cast for a second.
Yeah.
Loved all of them. They were great. Of course, we love Keke Palmer.
Yeah.
Love her. She's fantastic in this movie.
She's so freaking charming, both off and on screen. She really devours this role. In my opinion, I think she does a really great job. And even during the very emotional parts, you can tell that she's really all in it. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Kaluuya is just a natural. He just morphs into any sort of character you give him, and you really do follow him throughout the whole entirety of this movie. He does a really great job. I think a standout is Brandon Perea.
Oh, absolutely.
He is so good. I mean, he is also really good looking, but he does serve a bigger role in this movie than I was expecting.
Yeah, because the trailers kind of make his role seem a little bit smaller.
Well, they didn't reveal his role until maybe the first official full-length trailer, or maybe other mini trailers or other posters that came out. So the highlights, well, not highlights, but the headliners were Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steven Yeun. But then you bring in Brandon Perea, and I like that they gave him a little bit more stuff to work with.
Yeah.
When it came to marketing, because when you see him in the movie, he really is also really good. He's funny, and he really brings a good presence into everything. Mm-hmm. We also get Michael Wincott, who plays a director in this movie. And again, we don't want to go into specifics as to what he really does in this movie. But I think he also does a really great job. He has a really low voice.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen many of his other films, but in this one he does really good. And I don't know if it's his signature just to be talking like this all the time, and really slow. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you can feel the bass in this theater.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing that we do recommend you do, if you can, go see this movie in IMAX.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Because the sound design in this movie is incredible. You really feel it in especially during the suspenseful horror stuff. When it comes to sounds, you can hear everything and it's just eerie and you kind of just want it to stop at some point. I really like that aspect because it's kind of just someone ringing in your ear and kind of just trying to scare you, kind of like when you're going through a haunted house and you feel them around you, but they won't just let you go. If I just saw it on my TV, I don't think it would have been the same impact as if it was in the IMAX theater. Especially when it came to the force. We know that it's something in the sky that they're really curious about. Again, we're trying to tiptoe around spoilers here. When you hear the sound and how big and a spectacle it is, you also feel a little bit intimidated because you're just oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Really, nope. You're nope, I don't want to get involved. We think that we have this ability to do something about it, but we don't. Ambush, abort.
Well, and
head back.
And Jordan Peele has said in interviews that is why he named the movie Nope, because he wanted a movie in which if you were a character, would be Nope. Nope.
And they do say it several times in the movie, which is funny.
Pretty funny.
It's really good.
Another thing that I do want to mention while we're still talking about the audio before we move on is the score, because the score was really good, and I say that in two different ways. The first is that I feel that that a score is excellent and fits into the movie perfectly when you don't even notice it most of the time. I can only think of a couple times where I even really realized that there was music playing in the background because it just meshed into the scene so well. And when we did, the music is really good.
This would be
a soundtrack that I'm getting.
Exactly. This would be really good on vinyl. And a few negatives, more of like some flaws that I've noticed, or something that really didn't say 100% for me, but also didn't ruin the movie experience for me overall. The character that Steven Yeun plays in this movie, I feel like was a little bit underutilized.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't fully well-rounded. I felt like they could have totally used him a lot more. But that, again, just my vague explanation for that.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest negative for me, and like you, it didn't really ruin my experience of the movie, but I feel like I went into it expecting a different movie than I got. And what I mean by that, like I said a little bit earlier, is that I was going into this movie expecting there were going to be things to pick up and put together, and some deeper meanings to some of the things, or at least like some underlying story, because we did get a like subplot that was happening the whole time in his last two movies.
Oh yeah.
And that isn't in this movie. So what I would say just going into this is don't be like me and try to put the pieces together.
Well, with you, it's a little bit kind of like you really like there to be some background story or a little bit more information where you can at least use that to theorize. I think by the end of the movie, you are left with a lot more questions, but nothing to back that up with,
Yeah. And that kind of ties into my only other main criticism, which is that the entity that you're dealing with, we really don't ever get any explanation or backstory or intentionality behind it.
Yeah.
It's just there. And it plays into the story. We were discussing this on the way home, that I think that was purposefully done, that sometimes you just don't need to know. You just need to accept that this is a thing that is happening. Overall, I think that if you're the kind of person like me who wants to figure that stuff out, you might not get as much out of this movie unless you just go into it just to watch the movie. And I think if you do that, you're gonna enjoy it because it's a really well done movie.
Well, that's why I said before, like, don't go in with all your theories and making sure that you're checking those boxes. Don't just put them to the side and revisit them. Just go in with no expectations, and I think you're gonna have a good time. Mm-hmm. I did hear a lot of people saying that it was like Jaws. I do agree with that.
Definitely.
Like this is Jordan Peele's Jaws, like how Jaws did to water. This is Nope is kind of what is doing to the sky.
All right, so we can't swim, we can't fly. We're just gonna walk everywhere.
We just gotta walk everywhere. But even that, I mean, you got tremors in the ground. Like, we're never really safe.
We're not.
But honestly, there was a lot of great aspects of Jaws to it. Like, not even just the fact that, like, oh, you're scared of what's up in the world, which also, if I ever think about it, I do freak myself out of what's up there. But I think even just like the structure and how much of like an epic movie it was, because it was pretty long, but for me, I wasn't bored. The characters were really interesting, and Jordan Peele did split it up in a really good way where it kind of kept you going from different characters, different sides, different places at the same time. So you were pretty interested, even though it was a little bit slow at the beginning. It picks up, goes down, gets back up. But it's a little bit of a journey.
Yeah.
Now, let's leave you off with our official rating. Out of 10, what do you say?
I would give this, I think, a 6.5.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 7 because I really did have fun with it. Especially whenever the horror, suspenseful, and disturbing parts of the movie happen, those were like, I mean, if you see my Apple Watch, it said my heart rate went up. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was our review for Nope. So sorry that we really kind of tried to use vague words with everything. We're trying not to spoil anything, but please I say go out, go watch this weekend. Let us know what you think and leave your comments down below.
And if you do, please be respectful and tag spoilers if you're going to discuss spoilers.
Yes, because overall, I don't think that this movie was a bad movie, that it's just not worth seeing in theaters.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think it's definitely worth going over there, seeing the movie. We will tell you if a movie is just like, no, don't go see it, it's trash.
We will. I will.
All right, guys, with all that being said, make sure you follow us on Instagram at
The Horror Bandwagon.
or on Twitter at
Horror Bandwagon, or
to our website, www.thehorrorbandwagon.com. That's where you get our merch and also our links to our podcast where we talk about horror movies more in depth. And until next time, we have been your source for horror analysis,
criticism,
and spooky, okay?
and sometimes kooky
Entertainment.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.